Rain poured down on the metal rooftops of the refugee compound, echoing like distant thunder over a broken world. The sky, once blue, was now a bruised gray streaked with the ashes of two species that had nearly destroyed each other. The war between humans and the Veyari, an alien race of light-skinned, fragile beings, had ended 5 years ago, but the scars ran deep. Inside the compound's dimly lit medical wing, Dr. Nathan Cole flipped through an old datapad. His brown eyes lingered on the words. Subject 47, female Veyari, approximate age, 16 Earth years. Severe neural degradation. Limited lifespan remaining. Nathan sighed, rubbing his temples. Subject 47 had been brought in from the ruins of an old Veyari bunker. She was quiet, almost eerily so, her translucent skin glowing faintly under the sterile lights. The soldiers called her the Ghost Girl. But she had a name. Lira. When he entered her room, she was sitting by the window, her white hair almost blending with the light. The glass was cracked, and through it, she could see the rain dripping down the distant walls of the human city beyond the fence. "Good morning, Lira," Nathan said softly. She turned her head slightly, her large violet eyes reflecting the storm outside. "Dr. Cole," she whispered. Her voice was like a breeze, gentle but fading. "You should eat," he said, placing a tray on the table beside her. She smiled faintly. "Humans always eat when they are sad." Nathan chuckled quietly. "You're not wrong about that." Lira looked down at the food but didn't touch it. "How long do I have?" she asked suddenly. Nathan froze. He wasn't used to direct questions from her. We don't know for sure. Maybe a few weeks. Maybe a month." She nodded as if she already knew. "Then I must hurry." "Hurry for what?" Nathan asked, sitting down across from her. Her eyes met his, calm, unafraid. "To find a family." Later that night, Nathan reviewed her file again. The words, "integration not recommended," glared up at him. The Veyari refugees were forbidden from living freely among humans. They were considered too fragile, too different. Still, something about Lira's words stayed with him. To find a family. The next morning, she was waiting for him with a small, worn-out paper she'd folded into neat squares. When she handed it to him, he saw it was a drawing, childlike and simple, of a man, a woman, and a girl holding hands under a bright yellow sun. "This is what I want," she said. "Before I go." Nathan swallowed hard. "You mean, adoption?" She nodded. "The others say humans would never do that. That we are monsters in their eyes. But I want to die knowing someone wanted me." Her words hit him like a blade. He'd lost his own daughter during the first invasion. Her name was Ava. Same age. Same curiosity in her eyes. That night Nathan couldn't sleep. He stared at the old photo of Ava and his late wife, their smiles frozen in a time before the world burned. The war had taken everything from him. Maybe helping this girl could return something, even if only a small piece of his heart. A week later, the adoption center in New Geneva was buzzing with diplomats and soldiers. Nathan walked through the checkpoint holding a small document folder under his arm. Behind him, Lira walked slowly, her thin fingers trembling as she clutched her blanket. The officer at the desk barely looked up. "Dr. Cole, you're aware this is irregular. No human has ever filed an adoption form for a Veyari." "I'm aware," Nathan said evenly. "But there's no law forbidding it anymore. The treaty guarantees them personhood." The officer frowned. "She's terminal, doctor. Why do this?" Nathan looked over his shoulder. Lira stood there quietly, her eyes fixed on a child's toy someone had left on the counter, a small stuffed bear. "Because she deserves to belong," he said softly. Even if it's only for a little while. The officer sighed, scanned the papers, and finally nodded. Fine. You'll sign the legal guardianship agreement. It'll be effective immediately. Nathan's hand shook slightly as he signed the document. The pen scratched across the paper like thunder cracking the silence. Lira watched him, her eyes wide. You signed. He smiled faintly. Yes. You're my daughter now, Lira. Her lips parted, trembling. Then I have a father. The days that followed were quiet and peaceful in a way Nathan hadn't felt in years. He brought her home, a small cottage on the outskirts of the city, surrounded by the overgrown remnants of an old garden. Lira spent hours sitting on the porch, watching the rain or listening to the hum of insects. Sometimes she asked about Ava, and Nathan would tell her stories. How she used to paint her shoes with glitter or hide cookies under the floorboards. In return, Lira told him stories of her world, of silver oceans and living stars that sang to the children before they slept. Every night before bed she would say softly, "Good night, Father." And Nathan would reply, "Good night, my girl." But her health was fading fast. Her luminescent veins dimmed day by day. She grew weaker, needing help to walk, her breaths shorter. Still, she smiled every time she looked at him. One evening she asked to go outside. Nathan wrapped her in a blanket and carried her to the porch. The sky was painted in shades of violet and gold. "Do you regret signing the papers?" she asked, her voice barely a whisper. He shook his head. "Never." She smiled faintly. "Then I am happy." Nathan felt his throat tighten. "You'll rest soon, Lira. No more pain." "I know," she whispered. "But I want you to promise me something. Anything. When you look at the stars, don't see aliens. See daughters." Nathan's tears fell silently onto her blanket. She looked up one last time at the fading light. "Father," she whispered, "I think I hear them singing again." Her eyes closed, and the faint glow beneath her skin faded to nothing. Nathan sat there for a long time, holding her hand as the first stars pierced the twilight. Weeks later, the officials came to reclaim her body for research, but Nathan refused. He buried her beside the old oak in his garden, under a handmade wooden marker. He placed her drawing, the one with the family holding hands, inside a small glass frame atop the grave. And every night after, when the stars sang softly over the quiet earth, Nathan would whisper, "Good night, my girl," and imagine her among them. No longer a ghost, no longer alone, but finally someone's daughter.